Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in this video, I'm explaining why I believe that Tesla stock is about to awaken. Consider this somewhat of a warning to investors or potential investors in Tesla stock. For those of you who are very long-term viewers of this channel, almost 2 years ago, one of the very first videos I posted was entitled, "Waiting for Tesla stock to dip? Good luck." In retrospect, that video aged exceptionally well, and I have a funny feeling that this video is going to do likewise. Now, despite the seeming mountain of evidence to the contrary, I don't actually have a crystal ball, so I don't know for sure what is going to happen to Tesla stock price in the coming days, weeks, months, or years. However, I am willing to put it all on the line here and share with you guys and girls what I think is most likely. In short, in fact, why don't I let my shirt do the talking for me? 3 words: Tesla to Mars. And don't forget, as always, if you'd like your own Tesla stock to Mars merch, there's a link in the description. Now, the point that I'm getting at here is that my spidey sense, which I acknowledge is completely unscientific, but when it comes to matters like predicting the future, it's about all I've got to go on. My spidey sense is strongly suggesting to me that Tesla stock is about to go on an epic run. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a number of catalysts that I believe will continue to drive Tesla stock ever higher in the coming days, weeks, months, and yes, even years. And I'll also provide a very quick update of my own all-in Tesla stock portfolio. And just for the record, when I say all-in Tesla stock, I literally mean all-in Tesla stock. Tesla stock is the only stock I own in my stock portfolio. This is a video I need to make. I just have to get this off my chest. As you guys and girls will know, I read all the comments here on YouTube, very active on Twitter as well, over at Stephen Mark Ryan. And I'm seeing a lot of recurring themes in the discussion relating to Tesla stock, its current market cap, and the future growth ahead of the company. Many people noticing that Tesla stock is close to all-time highs. A lot of people still comparing Tesla's valuation to almost the entire automotive industry. A lot of people feeling like they've missed out on the opportunity to see any reasonable growth with Tesla stock. Well, I'm here to tell you that in my opinion, it's day one. This is Tesla stock back in 2019 all over again. So with that said, let's get into the video and I'll explain exactly why. If you love crypto, stocks, and free stuff, or just want to help out the channel, check out these great offers. BlockFi are launching the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card. People in the US can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase with no annual fee using the BlockFi Bitcoin rewards credit card. Check out the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can get up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $300 just for opening an account. And if you make an initial deposit of $5 or more, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $2,000. Seriously. Free stocks? Yes, please. And finally, if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Let's get back to it. So first of all, a really quick update on my stock portfolio as promised. I currently own 0.000529567.5% of Tesla. Now, I know a few of you are thinking, come on bro, what even is that? Well, just tell us how many shares you own, you dickhead. Well, I'll get to that, but first of all, I want to put this in context. Should Tesla achieve their goal of producing 20 million electric vehicles in a single year around 2030, it doesn't really matter the date. At that point in time, my share of those vehicles produced will be a little bit over 100. But let's be conservative and round down to 100. It's a nice round number. So hypothetically speaking, let's imagine that Tesla is making a $10,000 profit, a nice round number, on every vehicle sold at that point in time. This will be a combination of profits on the hardware sold and also software. Personally, I think that the company on average, their profit per vehicle sold is actually going to be even higher than this, but let's be conservative, nice round numbers. 100 vehicles times a $10,000 profit means about $1 million of profit associated with my share of the company around 2030. So now we'll take a look at my stock portfolio, but I thought it was very important to go through this exercise. A lot of people seem to forget when you own shares of a company, keyword there, shares, you literally own shares of the company. So it's worth having a think, what is my share of this company? How many stocks do I own? What is that as a percent of ownership of the total company? And then what does that turn into in the future? What is my share of the profits this company may be producing at some point down the track? Stocks aren't just some magical number in a brokerage account and that's it. They're literal shares of a company. So here we are, guys, my entire stock portfolio, literally all in on Tesla stock, finally hit a nice round number, 6,000 shares owned, average buy price $146 per share, US dollar total value just over 5 mil as I record this. Who knows what it'll be tomorrow or in a week or a month or a year, but that's where we're at today. And remember earlier we were discussing that potential 1 million profit per year just on the automotive side of Tesla in about 10 years time. It's worth noting that today I've actually put in less than $1 million total into my investment. That'll be a pretty good ROI on total capital in my opinion. And if there's any nerds out there who want to see every transaction I've actually made on Tesla stock, feel free to pause this video. I'm not going to bother running through these all individually. The main point there, the date purchased, the number of shares, the purchase price for each of those shares, and also the value gain since buying those. Some of these have now returned over 2,000%. I've been buying very consistently since early 2016, scrolling through these now for you guys and girls. Basically every spare cent that I've had this entire time has gone into Tesla stock. And my most recent purchase there, 34 shares, purchase price $824.01. So I just want to quote you guys a tweet I posted a couple of days ago. I give it much better than even odds. The Tesla marches steadily to $1,000 from here, and my 1 year price target, $1,100 per share in the bear case. By the way, I've just posted my price targets for Tesla stock, my bear case, my base case, and my bull case going all the way out to 2031 on Patreon. So if you're not already supporting on Patreon, check out the card in the corner. You'll gain access to those, plus regular Q&As and a bunch more. By the way, just wanted to say a special shout out, massive thank you to all my Patreon supporters. I love you guys and girls, really appreciate the support. So here we are looking at the Tesla stock price chart over the last day. As we can see, a relatively steady march upward. Let's go to the 5-day now. Notice a little bit of trend. The same thing over a different time span. Again, Tesla stock, a little bit of bumpiness along the way, but trending up. Let's look at the 1 month now. Almost identical to the 5-day, the same type of trajectory, up over 11% over the last month. And over the last 3 months, we can also see a very similar trend. Tesla stock up almost 30%. A few bumps along the way, but again, the trend very clear. So what exactly has been happening? Well, it seems since around May, the dips in Tesla stock when it got down to the $500 range. Overall, the trend has been pretty clear and in one direction. Tesla stock up almost 50% since those lows in May. So what's going on? Well, in my opinion, I think the stock market, analysts, Wall Street, investment makers, everybody is finally waking up to the fact that Tesla is a money printing machine. Now, for those of you playing along at home, you might be interested to discover that Tesla is just 4.2%, 420 away from its all-time high closing price. So let's talk a little bit more about this Tesla stock price chart. As you can see here, we have a double inverted scrotum pattern, which means Tesla stock is going to the moon. I'm just kidding. Technical analysis, what a load of horse shit. Get wrecked, everybody. But in all seriousness, I just want to point something out here. As I mentioned, the smoothness of this ride from the lows in May up to where we are today, an increase of about 50%. You'll be hard pressed to find a period of such steady, consistent increases in the price of Tesla stock. Previously, historically, it has been extremely volatile. We can see here soon after the Tesla stock split announced and then S&P 500 inclusion, a lot of forced buying, sending Tesla literally to the moon. Then the stock coming back down to reality as a lot of people were able to sell. There was a little bit of a squeeze, a lot of funds forced to buy Tesla stock. So this created a lot of artificial volatility in the stock. But since then, something very unusual has happened. Tesla's found itself in a steady state. Now, in my opinion, the reason for this steady and consistent increase in the price of Tesla stock and a severe lack of volatility since May 2021 comes down to the fact that one by one, everybody, whether we're talking about individual investors or institutions, one by one is waking up to the Tesla story and realizing, oh, they really are in a dominant position. They really are profitable. They're not going bankrupt. Wow, they're gaining market share. They're increasing their productivity. They're becoming more resourceful. They're reducing their manufacturing costs. They're scaling at a crazy rate. In short, everyone is finally starting to wake the f up to the Tesla story. But here's the thing, everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean the consensus among retail investors, the consensus among Wall Street analysts, the consensus in the mainstream finance media. Everyone is dramatically underestimating Tesla. They're starting to understand their position of dominance, but they are still nowhere near the mark. The long and short of it is that, in my opinion, with each successive month, but more importantly, each successive quarter throughout the next few years, practically everyone is going to be blown away by what Tesla does. Stunned. Things that were obvious to some of us months and years ago will finally become evident to even the dullest of dull. And I really struggle to think of any scenarios besides Elon Musk disappearing that are likely to drive Tesla's stock price down by any meaningful amount. Now, sure, there might be some very short-term things, Elon Musk exercising some stock options and having to sell over half of that to pay taxes. Maybe one thing, there could be a huge supply of stock flooding the market over a short period of time. But over meaningful time frames, I really struggle to think of things that will adversely affect Tesla's stock price. Now, keep in mind, the stock market can be irrational, completely moronic, just totally brain dead, so anything could happen. But if we come at this from a logical and rational point of view, Tesla is just going to be blowing everyone away to the upside, month after month, quarter after quarter, for years to come. So let's talk about some of those catalysts that I believe are going to continue to drive Tesla's stock price higher. First of all, let's talk about operating leverage. Now, as an investor, you do actually need to engage your brain and think about these kind of things before making investment decisions. Something that literally every single person who shorted Tesla stock over the last few years failed to do, but don't blame them. They probably didn't have the intellectual faculties to actually do the thinking in the first place. So hey, it's not their fault. And we're on the cusp of seeing Tesla's operating leverage really come into play in a meaningful way. Now, for those of you who aren't sure about operating leverage, I'm not going to get too nerdy here, but the simple version is this. Tesla has many fixed costs. These expenses don't scale in line with their production, meaning that the more vehicles Tesla can produce from a single facility, the lower their cost associated with producing each of these vehicles on a per vehicle basis. This effectively means that their margins go up, their profitability per vehicle produced. If Tesla doubles the number of vehicles they're producing, their expenses don't also double. To boil this down into a single sentence, the more vehicles Tesla produces, the more profitable each of those vehicles will be. Tesla is already a money printing machine, but things are about to go ballistic. And this is what I mean when some of the stragglers on Wall Street, some retail investors who couldn't quite see it coming, are now going to start to realize and wake up, holy crap, they made how much money? And that leads perfectly into the next point, Berlin and Austin. Now, believe it or not, Tesla is currently constructing two gigantic factories that each will ultimately produce millions of vehicles per year. Remember, more scale equals more operating leverage equals more billions in the bank every single quarter. In the full year 2021, Tesla is going to deliver a little under 1 million vehicles, in my opinion. By the time the end of 2022 rolls around, Tesla will almost have doubled their production capacity, maybe even more than doubled it. And no, I'm not saying 1 million vehicles this year and 2 million next year. Production capacity does not equal production. There's downtime. Plus, if the production capacity is increasing over the year, obviously the figure at the end of the year isn't going to be the same at the start of the year, so they won't actually produce that many vehicles. I personally believe Tesla's on track for around 1.5, maybe 1.6 million vehicles produced in 2022. The point I'm making is nobody sees this coming. Every single quarter in 2022 is going to blow people away. The production and the delivery figures will blow away expectations. You can mark my fucking words. Every quarter, Tesla blows away expectations, record profit, record revenue, record production, record deliveries. Everyone on Wall Street increases their estimates. Then they're still short the next quarter. Holy shit, they did it again. They blew us away again. Better increase our estimates again. Better increase our price targets again. And then guess what happens in the following quarter? The same thing. And again, next quarter, same story. So let me state in no uncertain terms. Every single quarter, practically every analyst on Wall Street is going to both upgrade their delivery estimates, their earnings per share estimates, and their price targets for Tesla stock quarter after quarter after quarter. Now, the fact that I know this is going to happen ahead of time, and please keep me accountable because it will, it's kind of embarrassing. If you think about this, shouldn't the smart Wall Street stock analysts be smart enough not to need to constantly upgrade their estimates and their price targets throughout the year? Well, they should, but history has proven that they're not as smart as we would like to hope. So I expect an endless barrage, a torrent of endless upgrades throughout 2022, and I expect that this is likely to put upward pressure on Tesla's stock price. There is going to be nothing but great news coming out of Tesla month after month and quarter after quarter in 2022. And of course, these aren't the only catalysts. In fact, let me rattle off just a few more. The ongoing expansion of FSD beta, more and more people gaining access to this based on the top tier safety scores and working its way down to more and more users. This is going to dramatically increase not only awareness of this software, but more importantly, its capabilities and ultimately the take rate. And more importantly than this, it's going to move Tesla incrementally closer to solving autonomy and awakening their robo-taxi fleet. We also have the simultaneous collapse of the internal combustion engine industry. Now, a lot of people don't see this coming, but once again, I just want to make sure that it's really clear and that I'm on the record. ICE sales have peaked and they are currently falling off a cliff. Legacy automakers are currently hiding behind the chip shortage, but you can mark my words, their volumes of ICE vehicles sold will never recover to their previous peaks, not even close. We're seeing the start of this enormous, catastrophic disruption and a huge collapse in ICE vehicle sales. Now, riddle me this. There's more and more people, whether we're talking about the Muppets in the mainstream finance media, Wall Street stock analysts, or retail investors out there start to realize that ICE vehicle sales are literally collapsing, imploding. What do you think this might do to their opinions and their sentiment around a company like, say, Tesla, who are scaling at a ridiculous rate, producing the world's most compelling electric vehicles? Call me crazy, but I personally think this may also add additional upward pressure to Tesla's stock price. EV adoption is accelerating at a rate faster than practically anyone envisioned, outside of course of the likes of Tony Seba and Cathie Wood. This is one of those things that most people dramatically underestimate and simply need to see to believe, and I think that in 2022 we really start to see the first clear and obvious signs to even the dullest of folks out there that this transition is happening, and it's happening faster than practically anyone could have imagined. And then of course we have the EV tax incentive. UAW eggplant gobbling president aside, this is going to be a major positive catalyst for Tesla and other companies producing electric vehicles in the United States. Given the fact that Tesla already has far more demand than they're able to meet with supply at their current prices, there is no question about it. Should this EV incentive be passed, even if Tesla doesn't get a completely fair deal due to political corruption and bribery, shout out to the UAW and the Democratic Party and the UAW eggplant gobbling POTUS, there is still no question about it. Tesla will be forced to raise the prices of their vehicles. Now, some of you might be a little bit confused about why this is. As I mentioned previously, Tesla has far more demand than they can currently meet, so let's engage these things. I know it might hurt, but let's do some thinking and think about how this might play out. Even an incremental decrease in the price of a vehicle exponentially increases the number of people who can afford one. Demand for Tesla's vehicles, which is already far in excess of their ability to meet this through production, will explode, exponentially increase. Let's do some more thinking. What's going to happen to wait times if Tesla can't produce enough vehicles to meet demand today if their demand has now increased exponentially? Wait times go through the roof, become completely unreasonable. 1 year, 1.5 years, 2+ year wait times to get a Tesla vehicle. Not acceptable. So how does Tesla address this and avoid customers having the worst experience on planet Earth by ordering a Tesla and having to wait a couple of years for it to arrive? They simply increase their prices a little bit until the market finds an equilibrium. Now, some of you may argue that this is not fair, this is greedy, Tesla shouldn't do this, but the market doesn't care. Let's just say that hypothetically speaking, the final EV tax credit means that those buying a new Tesla vehicle in the United States benefit from a $7,500 discount. Let's assume that hypothetically Tesla meets them halfway, so to speak, and increases the price of all of their vehicles by $3,500. This still means to consumers it's going to be $3,500 cheaper to purchase a Tesla vehicle, but Tesla's now going to be making an extra $3,500 pure profit per vehicle sold in the United States. These EV incentives are likely to last for years to come, massively increasing Tesla's profit margins for a substantial period of time. And finally, we have the ramping of Tesla's own 4680 cell. As we heard at Tesla's Battery Invest today, the 4680 cell ultimately will reduce the cost of batteries by about 56%. I expect that throughout 2022, we're going to hear some updates from Tesla in terms of their progress in ramping these cells, ultimately beginning localized cell production at both the Austin and Berlin factories. And this too is a hugely positive catalyst for Tesla's stock price. So those are some of the catalysts that I personally see driving Tesla stock consistently higher over the next year or two. Now, obviously, like I've said a few times in this video, anything can happen. I'm just sharing my thoughts in terms of probabilities. I expect that we're going to see a relatively steady march in terms of Tesla stock price over the next few months and probably years. There's just so many positive catalysts over the next few quarters and the next few years that I find it really hard to imagine a scenario in which there's downward pressure on Tesla stock for any meaningful period of time. The FUD is no longer effective, investors are too well informed, and Tesla is going to be blowing away expectations month after month and quarter after quarter. In my opinion, in 10 years' time, people are going to look back at Tesla's stock price today and its market cap and be astonished at how cheap, what a bargain it was back in 2021. Of course, I could be wrong. I can't actually see into the future. Anything could happen to the price of Tesla stock, but I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't share this video today. I'm seeing a lot of comments, people saying the same kind of things. I'll wait for it to dip. It's overvalued. It can't possibly go up anymore, blah, 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 blah. And I just wanted to share my thinking on this topic. So don't say I didn't warn you. Now, to be clear, in the super short term following Tesla's Q3 earnings, which are just a few days away as I record this, it's certainly possible that there'll be a little bit of sell the news. We might see Tesla stock come back just a little bit. But the whole point of this video isn't to talk about what's happening in the next microsecond. I'm talking longer term and the overall trend, which I truly believe is more than likely going to be up. So I'm curious what you guys and girls think. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Tesla stock is going to steadily march towards new all-time highs from here, or is it likely to head down first? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, if you'd like your Tesla stock to Mars merch, there's a link in the description: shirts, mugs, hoodies, and more. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card, where you can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase. There's a link in the description. You can also earn up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, also linked below. And finally, don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake, also linked in the description. These great offers also help out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server, and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.